Hello, Cinemotion. I'm Tom Hooper, director of the Danish Girl.
Tom, the story is very relevant to these days. Is that why you were attracted to it?
Well, it's an interesting question because I first read this script late 2008 and fell in love with this incredible love story between this couple, played by Eddie and Alicia Vikander. And but at that time, it was considered a difficult film to finance, a hard film to get made. And now, the fact that it's considered timely, like you said, is evidence that the culture has moved on very fast in 7 years. And I think thanks to great TV shows like Transparent, Orange is the New Black, to Caitlyn Jenner sharing her extraordinary journey with the world, we're maybe at a tipping point in transgender narratives where these stories are being accepted and embraced by the mainstream, and that's exciting. I mean, God knows there's a lot of change that needs to happen still in terms of the perception of the transgender situation, but it's really exciting that there's been a move forward.
Many people think that transgender person Lily should be played by a transgender actor. Why Eddie Redmayne?
I had an existing working relationship. We'd worked together first on Elizabeth I when he was 22 years old, and there was a scene where he's sentenced to death for rebelling against Queen Helen Mirren, which is obviously not a good idea. And he was so emotionally raw in that moment that I really thought that this actor's contact with his emotions, Eddie's contact, was so extraordinary. So I really wanted to make a film with him as the lead. We then did Les Miserables. His Empty Chairs, Empty Tables was, to me, one of the highlights. Again, very openly transparent, emotionally transparent. So it's partly that gift he has at drawing us in to love his characters, to care and be moved by him, that I thought was important. He's also drawn to the feminine. I mean, as a kid at school, he played the girls' parts. He played Viola in Mark Rylance's 12th Night. And then last year I considered the fact that for the majority of the film, Lily is pre-transition, so that fed into my thinking too.
While directing Les Miserables, what is the main challenges for making a musical?
I think creating the illusion that this is a world which is like ours, but where people communicate through song. And I wanted to make that feel natural, and that's why I chose to do the singing live, so that it would feel as real as possible.
Coming back to the Danish Girl, what was the most difficult for you while working on that film?
I think that the sense of responsibility to honouring this incredible, transgender pioneer, and her courage she showed in going through surgery at a time when it had not been done before, when antibiotics hadn't been invented, penicillin hadn't been invented. I mean, the risks of death were so big. So I wanted to honour her courage, but also, communicate to the audience the emotion I felt about it, and make sure that people would feel moved by this great love story in the way that I had.
Do you give lots of freedom to the actors?
Yes, but we also do that by having a lot of preparation. So Eddie and I worked over a year to prepare for the shoot. Sorry.
Do you give to the actors with whom you work?
Yeah, I think a lot of freedom, but it partly happens before the shoot. So we have 3 weeks of rehearsal. Before that, Eddie and I had been preparing for a year to shoot the film. I first tested Eddie as Lily 7 months before the shoot started. So there's no pressure in rehearsals or that early on about and it creates a very kind of free space for actors to try things. But by the time we come to shooting, this is a low-budget film. We shot it very, very fast, 3, maybe 4 takes. There's by that point, the great thing about rehearsing is you can be quite decisive when you're shooting.
What should the audience take away from this film?
Well, I think, a lot of us have blocks between us and the best version of ourselves, or the truest version of ourselves, whether it's shyness, insecurity, anxiety, addiction, you name it. And this is a very profound block between someone and their true self. And yet what makes space a possibility for change is this incredible unconditional love. And I think maybe the film talks about the fact that to become your true self, it's best if to be truly loved, to be truly seen, is maybe the best way to change. Ask one more quick one.
Okay, what's coming next?
There's 3 or 4 things I like, but I still haven't decided yet.